Hi fashion lovers, you're welcome to another interesting video. In today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to make a simple bubu gown with a side drawstring, just like what you are seeing on the screen. It is very easy and simple. If it is something you want to learn, you need to keep watching, and let's get started. To get started, I have my fabric here. I have about 2 yards of African print fabric, as you can see. So I will go ahead and open it up and fold it. So this is the way I'm folding it. You hold the two sides together and fold like this, and then fold it the second time, making it a 4-fold. So I folded it into 4 equal parts, and the length is the same length with the Ankara fabric, which is 45 inches. So the next thing is I've marked my starting point line. So on the starting point line, you will mark 3 inches, and then go ahead and divide your shoulder by 2. So you mark half of your shoulder measurement and then add the length of your sleeve. So I want my sleeve to be 7 inches in length. So I will just add 7 inches after marking half of my shoulder measurement plus 1.5 inches for the hemming allowance. From there, I will come down by 1.5 inches as my shoulder slope, and I will take it straight to the width here, which is like you mark 3 inches, and then you connect your shoulder slope. So after doing that, you want to take the neckline. So I want to use 5.5 inches as the width of my neckline, and the depth I want to use 3 inches. So the width of the neckline is 5.5 and the depth is 3 inches, and then I'll go ahead and connect. This is because I'm not slitting the neckline, and you want the neckline to be able to, you want your head to be able to pass through the neckline. And for the back, you are marking 5.5 plus 1.5 inches. So the width is still 5.5, but the depth of the back is 1.5 inches. So after the shoulder slope here, you want to mark your sleeve opening. So I will go ahead and mark half of my armhole circumference, which is 7.5, but I just mark 7 inches. So after the shoulder slanting, the shoulder slope, I mark 7 inches as my armhole opening, then plus 1 inch, which is serving as the sewing allowance. So I marked 8 inches, and from that point I will go ahead and mark a straight line just like you see me doing. And after that, you want to mark half and 1/4 of your highest body circumference, which in my case it is my hip. Whatever is your hip, you divide by 4 and mark, and then go ahead and add 2 inches as your ease, and then add 1 inch as your sewing allowance. So I mark 1/4 of my hip measurement, which is the highest circumference. So I marked 3 inches. So that 2 inches is my ease and 1.5 inches is my sewing allowance. And whatever you have on the shoulder line, you also bring it to that line that you make and connect your sleeve opening. So what you have on that chest line, you want to take it down. So what you have, that is your highest body circumference, 1/4 of it plus the 3 inches you added. Whatever it is, you want to take it to the length of your dress. So I went ahead to mark a straight line. So I didn't know my camera was not recording, so I just went ahead to mark a straight line, and then on the armhole I made a curve, just the same way you do a curve for your bubu. Did you see that? So from the armhole like this, you go ahead and make a curve. So what I have on that chest line, I marked it through to the length and connected with a straight line, and then make a curve from the armhole to the side like this. Did you see that? So the next thing is from my shoulder, I will go ahead and take the length of the bubu gown I want. You want to take the length you want. So from here, I want the length to be 40 plus 2 inches for the hemming allowance. So I'll also go ahead and do the same for this side. The length is 40 plus 2 inches for the hemming allowance. So after connecting, this is what I have. So we'll go ahead and cut out and then I'll go ahead and connect our fabric. So on the neckline here, you add ½ inch. So we're cutting the back first, the back neckline. So you add ½ inch on the neckline, and also on the shoulder you add ½ inch. And then you want to go ahead and cut through the side like this and cut it to the end. So after cutting, I've gone ahead to cut out the back. So you're going to open the bubu up and take off one part, which is going to be the back part. So I've taken off that part. It's going to be my back part, and this is my front. So I'll go ahead and cut out the front neckline, and as you are cutting, you add ½ inch for the sewing allowance, and with this you are done with the front neckline. So the next thing is to go ahead and cut out my facing. So on fold it is 8 inches on fold, and the length also is 8 inches. So on fold 8 inches and the length is 8 inches. So I'll just go ahead and place it like this. Did you see? Use your pin and hold it down, then cut out the neck region and the shoulder region to get your facing. So the reason I'm doing this is in case you are a beginner, you'll be able to understand how a facing is being cut out. Cut out through the neckline and the shoulder, and then make a curve like this, and this becomes your front facing. So you want to open it up like this and place it right side of the facing will face the right side of the main fabric, and then you want to go ahead and sew by the ½ inch sewing allowance you have added on the neckline. Go ahead and sew by the ½ inch sewing allowance you've added. You can use a pin to hold it down. And for the back as well, I also have a pieces which is on fold 8 inches and the length is 8 inches, and then you also place it like this, and then with your pin you hold it down, and then cut through the neckline and shoulder as well. And also curve the down part like so. And when you are done, you open the neckline up, place the right side of the neckline will face the right side of the facing. Then you go ahead and sew by the ½ inch sewing allowance you have added. So after I was done sewing, this is what I have. Then you want to use your scissors and notch through the neckline as shown. Flip it to the wrong side now. So you flip the facing to the wrong side as you see me doing. Did you see how smooth it is? You're also going to grab the other part, which is the back part, notch the neckline, and then take it to the wrong side. The next thing is to join the bubu dress. So you place your the right side of the front will face the right side of the back, and then you open the facing, and then you want to go ahead and sew the shoulder by half an inch that you have added. And then you also want to do the same for the other side. Open up your shoulder like this and sew by half an inch that you have added. So after sewing the shoulder, you want to notch in between here. Did you see? You want to notch in between here so that the facing would relax very well. Then you also want to open it up and then go ahead and fold in the the sleeve allowance, the hemming allowance of the sleeve. I added 1.5 inches. You fold by half inch and fold by 1 inch. So that 1.5 inches you added, you want to go ahead and fold the sleeve by the 1.5 inches and sew. And when I was done, this is what I have. As you can see, I have sewn the side, the sleeve, the hemming allowance of the sleeve. So you want to take it like this. The right side will face the right side of the fabric, and then you want to go ahead and sew by the 1 inch you have added on the side. You want to go ahead and sew the side following the curve you have made. Did you see? And sew till you get to the very end. So after you are done sewing, this is what you are going to have. Then you want to go ahead and open up your sleeve and fold your hemming allowance. Open up your sleeve and fold the hemming allowance. So you want to go ahead and fold the hemming allowance and then sew it. After was done, I want to go ahead and do the drawstring. So there are different ways of doing it, but I'm going to show you the easiest way. So you want to grab the allowance and then cut it open like this. So it might be a bit difficult, but I will advise you cut the allowance open before you fold in your hemming allowance. Cut the allowance open. Did you see? So you want to go ahead and cut the allowance open like this, then fold it. Did you see? Fold it once like this and then go ahead and stitch. Did you see? Fold it, and on the armhole side you also cut it open. So your allowance should be up to 1 inch. It must be up to 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Then you now fold it by 0.25 like this and stitch it down. And you also do it for the other side. Let me fold it and show you. Fold it by 0.25. That is your sewing allowance. You fold it by 0.25 on one side. Use your pin and hold it because you are going to be stitching it down. So your allowance must be up to 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Your side seam allowance should be up to 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Then you fold it, and then you want to open it up like this. This is how you're going to sew it. As you open it up like this, you push the fabric in and then you begin to sew it. Make sure as you're sewing the side seam, it does not get to your main fabric. So as you're sewing, you want to be pushing the fabric in. Did you see that? So I've gone ahead to stitch it. Let me show you. Bring it close to the camera. Did you see what I did? You stitch it down like this. Fold the fabric in by 0.25 and stitch it down. You started from the armhole and get through to the down part. So the next thing is to grab a fabric that is 1.5 inches in width and 85 inches in the length. So it's 1.5 inches in width and 85 inches in length. So this is going to serve as the rope that we're going to be using to pass through the drawstring casing. So you want to fold it, the two edges in, and fold it again. Did you see what I did? And then sew. So you fold it in, the two sides in, and fold it further again like this, and then stitch on top of it. Go ahead and sew it to the end. And so when you are done sewing it, this is what you are going to have. Grab your safety pin like this and put it in. So with the help of the safety pin, you are going to be passing the rope through the drawstring casing. So from the armhole, from the one of the opening, you take one edge of the rope and pass it through the one of the opening of the casing now. So you take the edge, one of the edge, and pass it through the opening of the drawstring casing till you get to the very end. So when you get to the end, you try as much as possible to bring it out like this. Did you see? So that's why you need to notch your seam allowance so it will be easier for you. So you want to go ahead and bring it out. Did you see? On one side, and then grab the other edge of the rope, and then with your safety pin you want to put it on the other opening of the casing. So we added one rope on the other side, so we're going to be adding the other edge of the rope to the other side of the casing like this. You're going to pass it through the other side of the casing till you get to the very end. Pass it through the other side of casing till you get to the very end. And when you have done that, this is what you are going to have. Did you see? Did you see what I did? This is what we have on the armhole side. We have added, and on the down part, this is what we are going to have. Did you see that? Let me just turn it to the right side so you see what I'm talking about. So this is what we have. So you can go ahead and start doing your drawstring. You can draw it to any point of your choice. Did you see? You can draw it to any point of your choice. I believe this is way simple for you to understand. If you don't, please ask me your questions on the comment section. So I've gone ahead to do the same for the other side, and with this we are done with this tutorial, and our drawstring bubu dress is ready. You can do this for a top, for a gown. You can use this method for any dress that you want to make, and it's very easy and it's very simple. If you got value from this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next tutorial. Bye bye.